Haven't done one of these in a while. It's Timmy Joe looking at an action camera. The Apeman. I mean, that's a household name if I've ever heard of one. Apeman, right up there with the likes of GoPro and Sony and the Extreme Sports drinking Red Bull, holding the Apeman on the frickin' quarter pipe. No one's ever heard of Apeman. What the hell were they thinking? Hi, I'm Timmy Joe. I make videos about things and stuff, usually computers, maybe sometimes cameras, maybe, tech, whatever you want. Put it in the comments below of what you want me to look at, but very cheap, very cost-efficient action camera with some everything just shoved into one little package that only costs $79.99. That is awesome. So it's cheap as all hell, but does it actually shoot 4K? Does it look good? Is it worth it? Well, you're looking at it right now, and I bet you think my set looks really weird. So cue an intro. I haven't done that in a while, and we're going to talk all about the Apeman 880 A80. So, how's it going there? It's the Apeman. That's the coolest feature. It talks to you. Isn't that fun? So, I've been playing around with this for the better part of about a week. And I went out with my dog, shot a little bit of video you're going to see in a little bit, and did the action thing. What kind of action sports can it shoot? What's up with this? So it's the Apeman A80. It's apparently 4K. I'm going to tell you right now, I guess it's 4K because it shoots 4K 24 frames a second only. A lot of people would say that's not 4K, that's 24 frames a second 4K. It does shoot 1440p though at 30 frames a second. It shoots 1080p at 60 and at 30 and 720, 120 frames a second, and it's actually some pretty good video as we will see in a little bit. But basically, going over here, I press my buttons on my computer. It's the Apeman, and it's got everything, man. It's got a Sony sensor, it's got time-lapse, an app, 4K, underwater. You can go skiing with it. I mean, come on. It's got a pretty terrible app, I'll tell you that. But some cool features. 2 batteries. I wonder why that is. And yeah, it's an action camera. You're pretty much probably getting tired of these days. But the clincher for you will be that, hey, Amazon, $79.99. I actually got it for pretty much that price on Amazon Canada. So pretty damn good deal considering a GoPro, with all these bells and whistles, would be $500, $400. Maybe you could compare this to even like the little QB one. Well, that's still like $300. So you're doing pretty good. You buy 3 of them. You buy 4 of them. So is it any good? Is it well? You know what? It's not terrible. Honestly, it's pretty decent. It's got a lot of stuff going on all in one package. I'm surprised it gets almost everything done fairly good. It's not bad. So it has a 2-inch LCD in the back. It's not touch. It has 4 buttons. Very cumbersome. Okay, you turn this thing on. You kind of don't know what's going on. You got to play with it for a while to figure it out. And the instruction manual is not any help. Well, you figure, well, I'll download the app. Maybe that's help. Well, just figuring out how to turn Wi-Fi on is kind of annoying. Then once you get the app going, you're like, that's the app? Okay, I guess I can see the live video output from it. There's no other options in it, and I had a real hard time seeing anything from the SD card in it, so it's not even really worth talking about. The app's pretty terrible, but it has redeeming features. It has a Sony image sensor. It has a pretty high resolution. It's like 20 megapixels or something stupid, and the quality on the sensor and the glass and everything is actually kind of there. It's not bad, and all the features kind of actually just work. It has, for example, 720p. It'll shoot 120 frames a second. Here's my dog jumping, and every frame is accounted for. A lot of times it'll have those, the option for 720p, 120 frames a second, and you go back and look, and the frames are being doubled, so it's actually not But yeah, no, it does a really good job of doing a little bit of slow-mo here. It does time-lapse. It's it's pretty good. So some things that surprised me about this would be, yeah, I think the image quality is like up there with the Sony version of this, like using the same sensor. However, there's like very little image processing, making this look better. So it often just looks kind of stale, and the video quality might be there, but it's not like wowing you. It's also got a really big fisheye on it, so kind of makes things kind of distorted. But for capturing the moment, for hooking this up to something where you're going to get some live action, I think you'd be happy with the results. It has some digital image stabilization that just kind of sucks, so it's not really even worth it to use it. And like I said, navigating through the menus, it is not very easy. So a couple other things that I really liked about it was you can charge it while you are using it, so you can run video and charge it at the same time, so you could use it as a dash cam, and it does a live out from the HDMI, so you could stream with this thing. You could use it as a security camera. You could use it for a couple of different things doing that. A clean 1080p signal comes out of the micro HDMI on it, so that's pretty cool. So those are two things that I don't even think GoPros do very well, and it's doing it just out of the box, no problem. Speaking of the box, you saw the cardboard I shot at the camera. It was pretty decent, you know, but bam, little Kevlar style case comes with like every mount under the sun that you'd want, which is pretty freaking cool. There's little Ziploc bags for everything. There's it makes lots of noise. It has a housing that allows a little bit of sound in. It allows you to put Velcro straps through it to mount it here, which is pretty cool. It has a housing that's completely waterproof. It has a handlebar mount for your bike. It has a bunch of Velcro straps that allowed me to put it on my Pug. See this? You don't like the camera on your back? I don't think you care even. So that's pretty cool, right? My Pug has, just like everything, and they're all GoPro. So you can go buy some GoPro accessories and it'll work with this, but you're not going to have to buy too much because it comes with a whole whack of stuff, including a second battery. Well, you might think that's a benefit, but I think it's because the battery life sucks on it. And they were like, well, we'll just throw in another battery to get equal life to a GoPro, or maybe a little bit better. But the problem with that is you're like barely, you're an hour and a half into shooting with your dog, and it's telling you that the battery's low. Well, I go put this battery in here. Now how I'm going to charge the dead battery? I can't. I have to plug the camera in and run it off of an external battery pack or something, and charge this later. And that's sort of annoying. I'm sure you could find a charger for it on Amazon too, but that is one extra thing you're going to have to look for. But all in all, I'm actually pretty impressed with this package. So I've got some image samples, I've got some video samples, just in case you're interested. But I'm going to say right before we even get to that, for $80, you could do a hell of a lot worse. And if you're looking for something that you're not, you think maybe you'll break, you want to put it on your speedboat, you're worried about falling off in the water, and, wasting a $300, $400 GoPro, buy a couple of these. You're getting pretty similar image quality. And if it falls in the water, who cares? And if it's a little bit cumbersome to use once you get used to it, you know what? You can just go buy another one. It's not a big deal because they're so cheap on Amazon and so readily available. So let's get to some image samples, and then we'll come back and make a little conclusion or something. Pew. 24 frames a second, walking, 1440p, 1440p, walking at 30 frames a second, 1440p. Full HD 60, Full HD 60. I'm walking with Full HD 60. Full HD 30. Is the image stabilization better on Full HD 30? Oh, okay. Not bad, right? Cloudy out. It's not making it look very, poppy. But I think the video quality is there, and if it weren't for so much fisheye, you'd probably be like, oh, wow, that looks pretty good. But I don't think it does the greatest with dynamic range. It's having a hard time finding like the right level of brightness and details in the shadows and stuff like that. And the fisheye is like really, it's 170 degree angle on it, and it's too much, unfortunately. But you can crop in on it a little bit in the settings, actually a whole lot, but all it's doing is literally cropping, so you're losing image quality. But it also has an image stabilization in body, and as you saw, it's not really doing too much for it. But all in all, you could really do worse. And I have personally purchased off-brand, like non-GoPro, in the stores around my hometown that were a hell of a lot worse than this. And I couldn't recommend these things more unless you really want the name and you really want like maybe a polished ecosystem, a polished, there's some good video quality and like kind of out of the box, a GoPro is going to look a lot poppier, a lot nicer, and a little bit more eye-catching. And you might want that right out of the box. Now I can play with this a little bit in post and maybe make it look good, but who knows. So for the $80 that it is, super thumbs up. Go pick them up if you want. Have to be a little bit more experienced. It's not kind of just a grab and go thing, but if you want to put the time into it, you can learn and have a good time. So I'm at Watch Timmy Joe on Instagram and Twitter. If you like videos about cameras and stuff, I can get more of them. But as far as whatever, if you're buying these things, Amazon affiliate link. I bought this from Amazon, and it helps me out if you go there and buy it there. So that's a thing. And hit the bell or whatever. Make it so you can find out when I'm making crazy videos about things and stuff. And I'm gonna go edit this video. So this is a good day. Goodbye.